Good time.
Tomorrow.
All time.
Till 30.
Well, yeah, we gotta be there.
I think it's 30.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
I just don't know. I'm not that good. I drink unsweet tea and bake.
Good time.
It's
Sweet tea.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
What's the
Uh,
sweet tea?
Never.
Don't say
Yeah.
that. It's just a-
Called. What's that? Not even minutes. Tastes
Yeah,
like it,
30.
whatever.
Ready?
It's a lemon.
We stand the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You. Roll call.
Mr. Clausen.
Here.
Mr. Cox.
Here.
Mr. Green. Here. Mr. Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Here. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. Would anybody like to do that?
Yes, I would, sir. I would like to remove the Ansel Glink invoice legal services for $1,432.50
Okay, and why is that?
because it is pertaining to the managerial form of government. It is, which I don't believe was relayed to us.
It relates to the managerial form of government.
Sir, it does.
It was the bill where we asked,
Is this?
it was the bill that was asking what
And it also can
council,
continue preparing petition for referendum to convert. It says concert, but I'm assuming that meant to convert to managerial commission form of government. And I have some questions.
And you have,
Some questions.
okay,
It was dated in July. Why is it just now being approved? I don't know too many attorneys that allow 4 months to pay a bill. And I don't feel that the taxpayers should pay for the mayor to request the petitions to be filed or to be prepared. Would you like me to pass these around? I have enough for the entire council here.
yeah. You have any thoughts on that?
I'll say the original call to Ansel Glink was just what is the role, council on manager form of government? Do we, what is the wrong procedures of whether we get involved or not? And can the city put it on a petition? And the answer was no, of course. The city can't put it on. It has to go through that. So we were asking the legal questions on that. The billing part of it was, there was 4 different bills that came from different people, and they're sending them invoice now through emails instead of, and those were names that I didn't recognize for a while. And so once I realized that they were from Ansel Glink, I went back and searched my emails to make sure those were.
There was also a memorandum issued. That memorandum was not shared with myself. I don't know about the rest of the council.
It seems appropriate that you would be prepared or be proactive with something that might be coming and ask for outside consultation, even because you ask for legal opinions. And it seems to me, it's quite appropriate to do that in preparation for something that might happen so that we're prepared.
The memorandum, you're more than welcome to issue the memorandum to the rest of us at any point in time.
Do we have the memorandum?
I don't know if it's the memorandum that Ansel Glink. I'd have to go back and look at that bill and see what it really refers to. If it's the memorandum that Ansel Glink put out, that's not what we asked for. they had a memorandum that they put out to the IML. So,
I mean,
This shows finalizing drafting memorandum to convert
to convert,
to the city manager form of government.
June 20th, last bullet.
I don't understand this.
we can always delay the payment of this. We
Yeah,
can
I'll
still may be
check in on it.
obligated to do that.
So do we have a memorandum?
no,
So we did not receive a memorandum from them?
no. I didn't.
I have a question, just seeing this first time. So the one that bothers me, did we prepare the petition?
No,
Or that's what it says, continue preparing petitions. So we didn't,
so that's not our.
That might be a
Why do we-
typographical error. I mean, there's no, the first three, there's no entry that says preparing petitions. This one says continue preparing petitions. There's reference to preparing a memorandum. It may be continue preparing the memorandum regarding petitions, but it's certainly something that can be asked
Right.
about.
I
okay.
think there needs to be further investigation regarding this invoice.
No problem. We'll reach out to
Well,
them.
clearly, we don't
Get
want
clarification.
we don't owe.
Yep.
But
And then I guess so help me here because I'm not sure of the process. Anytime a bill is submitted, somebody initials for payment, right? So who initialed on this bill?
That Alex Benesic initialed on that one. We had, like I said, we had several. bills.
Alex's?
No, it shouldn't have been. It should have been. I was gone. We had several bills. Most of them were pertaining to zoning,
Okay.
so he just initialed those.
They mistakenly rewrote our entire sign ordinance. We just asked them to make a sign overlay district. So Kyle handed me those invoices and I voted that because he was kind of short on time.
So the $977 bill, that I found out that was basically related to the digital sign and your signage issues.
Yes.
So that
They
one,
were just all in the same spec. I was asking.
plus all those others that were related to the land bank or whatever the
Yeah.
properties.
so are we saying some of these are okay to pay or not? We just-
I'm just.
Yes, she's saying pull this one.
Because I don't feel the taxpayers should pay for this if it's not a valid with reference to city side of it.
So is it? Trying to help understand this. So it's your position that there is no memorandum,
No, I don't. I'm not aware of them.
that you've received none,
I've not received them.
and the mayor has not received any memorandum,
Not to my knowledge.
and that they didn't prepare any petitions on behalf of the city.
On behalf of the
I
city,
don't
no.
No, we don't do that.
But we're paying them,
Well, we got to see what we're paying.
and you haven't received a memorandum?
So petitions would have been the outside group. They would have prepared their own.
Absolutely. We don't prepare petitions.
Well, no, we don't. I know we're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're not supposed to.
But on
Yes,
the surface, it appears like
Yeah.
we've contracted them
Yeah.
and that's not the case.
That contract.
We will.
to convert to the city.
And
manager.
we'll find it. We'll find
I'll
out.
get that. That bill should go somewhere else. If it is what that stated is.
When did you discover that this occurred?
When I go through the council packet, I go through it line by line, and when I see a vendor that is odd, or I see something that's out of the ordinary, I generally either ask Beth or Kyle or one of them to clarify what we're paying for.
Right.
And it was the D, I don't know how to pronounce it, Denzin, whatever, so I asked for those, or the legal invoices, and this one was given to me at my request.
And when did that occur?
I got them Monday, because I emailed, well, I usually do it over the weekend.
Right.
And I don't expect responses from my emails to the staff when I ask for them until the next working day.
Yeah.
So I would have shot the email to her either Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember exactly which day it was.
And then you got the information on Monday? Is that what you got? And is there a reason why we didn't have a chance to look at that and ask this question in advance so we knew the
No,
answer to this?
because the agenda says that we have the ability to remove an item from the consent agenda.
Absolutely.
I'm asking.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to know what the answer was before we got here.
It would have been nice to be informed back in June that this was even occurring.
Well,
So we can agree to disagree, Mayor.
Very good.
so we'll look into this.
Well, just to clarify here, so the inquiry to Ansel Link was the citizen and
What'd you say,
initiated.
Nothing.
The original call to answer Link was
To see how this would,
if the
what the
council,
process is for
Yes.
the city, if this would move forward and eventually pass,
Right.
which is what we use council for.
Right.
That's the purpose of having council,
right,
right?
Yeah, no, we know we should look into this. to
So,
see
yeah,
if it's appropriate.
And I agree, the wording does raise a question,
Question.
but the inquiry on our part to the attorney was,
But we could have had a chance to resolve this before we ever got here tonight. Yeah. But we can look into this.
okay, thank you.
But is that something, Sandy, you and Beth, since can you guys call the attorney and get it resolved?
I'm sure we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can give him Dirk's
But
phone number.
yeah, I think we ought to be talking to the attorney to find out what's going on. The questions is asked of us, right?
Well, considering conference call with mayor on questions around structure and public request to investigate alternatives, I'm assuming that you made the initial call.
Right.
So doesn't matter.
So we can find,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll call. And like I said, I can have Beth in there as well. Not a big deal.
All right. So we're going to pull this item?
Yep.
And,
Have they not asked, have they asked to get paid for this since did we receive it in July and just get paid in October?
Yes. Yes. They used to send a paper invoice every month. And then they hadn't been sending paper. And the emails I was getting was names that I did not recognize. And I don't,
yeah, I don't think it's
it
unusual.
didn't say Ansel Glink. It didn't say, yeah,
Last week.
right.
Okay. All right. So,
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
so we'll remove this item. Go ahead and pay the rest.
Yes.
And we'll report back. It'll be on the agenda next time. If it's appropriate to pay.
If it's appropriate, yeah.
All right. So now,
And to clarify, if there is a memo somewhere floating around, I assume that would be forwarded to all the council.
Yes.
Which item is
if
that?
if it's pertaining to something.
June
that-
20th.
If it pertains to any city business, we need to see it.
Well, we can't, you don't share everything that goes on in your area, everything that goes on with the rest of the council. We're not going to get into that, but this is an
But I
item.
would if you requested it. And I think we're requesting it. I'm requesting it. If there's a memo, I want to see it,
Okay, if there is one, yeah.
regardless of what it's about. As long as it's city business, we get it. I mean, full transparency.
Right.
You can mark it confidential, but
Yeah.
I think we need to be,
I think,
we need to be.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So now we need to approve, are we ready to approve the rest of the items? Anything else, Sandy?
No, that's it.
Dave?
Nope,
Jim?
not me.
Okay, so, I move,
I'll make a motion. I'll move.
I didn't, there's no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
there's no motion made yet.
We can move on.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 15th, 2024, and the bills and payroll for the last half of October 2024, except for this item as identified earlier. And then also to approve the mayor's bills for IML conference. And now we can have a second.
I'll see.
Okay. Commissioner Phipps and roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on this agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you state your name and address for the record, as well as stand when speaking. Would anybody like to address the council? Okay. And then, so the next item on, is anybody online that would like to address the council? I don't know who's online. So next item on the agenda is the presentation of the audit. And
Okay.
I'll take that one, actually, if you don't mind, guys. Good evening and welcome to the audit presentation for the City of Mattoon for the year ended April 30th, 2024. It's quite difficult to see who's in the room, but I could take a guess that I haven't met the majority of people. I've had the pleasure of meeting Mayor Rick Hall down in the IML that was in Chicago. I'm actually based here in Chicago, here actually beside Wrigley Field. My name is Aaron Donnelly. I'm the audit engagement partner from Roth & Company. I'm new to this engagement in the current year because I've started with Roth in May 2024 to lead their Chicago operations. I previously worked in KPMG Ireland, hence this accent, and KPMG Chicago for 13 years. So I've got the relevant experience, albeit this is my first city. I have another city that I audit, so Sedale is keeping me right here. All the nuances. I'm joined here, as I alluded to, Sindel Manuel, one of my audit managers, who will present some of the second half of the deck. We have prepared materials here, which we will run through that summarize, principally, it's basically the audit results, the opinions issued, the financial statement highlights, and then we'll have time for questions at the end, should you have any, guys. So just overall scope, the audits include the overall financial statement audit, which was an unmodified opinion. That's a clean opinion, just to clarify. The audit reports on the supplementary information for the tax increment financing. I believe there were 4. The Grant Accountability and Transparency Act consolidated report. These were all unmodified opinions. We also had the tax increment financing compliance reports, which were all unmodified opinions. And finally, the internal controls report, which actually had a material weakness identified similar to 2023, but I want to touch on that just so we're clear on what's going on here. It should be noted that the City of Mattoon uses the modified accrual-based accounting. However, US GAAP requires financial statements to be accounted for on the accrual basis of accounting. In accordance with US GAAP, we actually identified some material adjustments required to convert the fund financial statements to the government-wide financial statements, mainly related to recording capital assets, leases, pension-related balances, and other long-term liabilities, working with Beth. We have a recommendation here. We recommend that the city implements a comprehensive preparation and review process to ensure all material adjustments are recorded and that the financial statements are in accordance with US GAAP. We've discussed this with management. I believe it might not be cost effective. Management's fully aware of this, and it might not just be cost effective to do that. That's why it's a repeat finding. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. This is similar to another city that I actually have an audit engagement partner on. They have a similar thing. Just wanted to make sure everybody knows this. And then there were no significant deficiencies, and there were no instances of non-compliance identified in 2024. It was just the finding above. So I can either pause now for questions, or I can pass it over to Sindel and she can run through the financial statement highlights. I'll pass over to Sindel and we'll touch on questions at the end. Sure, guys. Thank you all, and nice to meet you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Sindel. So I'm sorry, my video is not working. I can see everyone, but you cannot see me. So, yep. So thank you, Aaron. So for my area, I'll be presenting the financial statement highlights for the fiscal year 2024. So for the fiscal year 2024, there are certain 2023 accounts that were restated. This is due to the implementation of GASB 96. Related to the subscription-based information technology arrangement. So basically, this is a new accounting pronouncement applicable to the city, and also one correction of error. The implementation of GASB 96 did not have an impact on that position, but it did increase the subscription assets and liabilities by $34,943. The next one is the OPEB. So there was an adjustment related to the net OPEB liability, deferred outflow of resources, and deferred inflow of resources, and that resulted to an adjustment and increase in net position of the governmental activities by 30,844, a decrease in the net position of business type activities or the enterprise funds by 4,099, and a decrease in net position of the library by $176. All right, moving on to the next one. We've noted that there is an internal borrowings amounting to $739,639 in relation to the purchase of fire truck. However, if you will check the financial statement, you won't see the liability or the obligations. Since these are internal borrowings and within the city, so these are eliminated. Next one is the series of 2024 refunding bonds. These are fully paid as of April 30th. And finally, one last highlight is a new TIF was established, but there has been no activity as of April 30, 2024. This is the Remington TIF fund. Okay, moving on to the numbers. So these are the financial statement highlights in terms of the account balances. So for the asset, it increased by 2.2 million. This is in relation to the recognition of net pension asset in relation to the IMRF. I will discuss that later once we go further to the liabilities. And also the increase was also related to the taxes receivable during the year. For deferred outflow of resources, which accounted like a majority of the decrease here, I would also like to cover the deferred inflows of resources. I just wanted to let the council know that the deferred outflows and inflows doesn't really have an impact to the day-to-day operations of the city, but this represents the future cost and future revenue of the city. So I'm happy to discuss if you have any further questions with this, but I will just leave it as it is. So for the liabilities, there is a decrease of 10 million. Again, I will leave that in detail in the next slide. Having said that, there is a positive increase or an increase of net position amounting to 9 million for this year as compared to last year. Revenue expenses, there is 1.5 revenue, there is a 1.5 increase, and expense, there is an 800,000 increase in this year. So we'll have that later by line. All right, so this is the long-term liabilities. So basically, the long-term liabilities is composed of the general obligation bonds, the notes payable, the subscription, compensated absences. Majority is the net pension and OPEB liabilities. So for the general obligations and notes payable, this movement are just really the payment for this year. There's no new bonds or notes. I will skip some of the few items here and move forward to net pension liability. So in the past, or in fiscal year 2023, you have 1.4 million approximately of liability, but this year it is actually it switched to net pension asset. The reason why when we're going line by line, the primary reason why it became an asset, it's because of the impact of the investment income during the fiscal year 2024. So to just give you a number, so there during the fiscal year 2024, there based on the actuarial report, there is a 5.4 investment income. This is the performance of the investment, while in last year it's actually negative 6.5. So that's the reason why it decreased and became an asset. And actually, it's actually the same for police pension fund and firefighters pension fund. The majority or basically the increase or the decrease that attributed to the liability is in relation to this investment income. Now for OPEB, there's no investment income since there's no plan for OPEB. But The decrease in OPEB liability is due to the benefit changes. As indicated in the actuary, the change is the result of a increase in a retiree contribution rate from 55% to 65%. And also a higher discount rate as compared to fiscal year 2023. So that the combination of those actually resulted into a decrease of 5.3 million in terms of the OPEB liability. Okay. And all right, so this slide is in relation to the major revenue sources. So the revenue are actually relatively consistent in fiscal year 2023. Just a note for property tax revenues, there is like a almost 700 increase. This is in relation to property tax receipts in attributable to the Midtown TIF district and also I-57 East TIF district. And yep, basically everything else are consistent, and with of course a note that property tax are increasing. Oh, sorry. And finally, for the expenditures, so these are the overview of the expenditures, but I would just like to cover public safety and economic development. So for public safety, there is a decrease of 1 million. Basically, this is related to the OPEB and pension, because this year there is a 4 million net pension and OPEB income, and majority are basically attributable to police and fire pension. So it's actually under the line item public safety. And finally, for the economic development, there is construction or the business district grants in related to the construction of project I-57. This is under the Remington Road and I-57 Business District Fund. So that ends our presentation, and let us know if you have any questions or comments.
Anybody have any questions? I'm sure we will have some more.
Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for your time.
I believe we're going to drop it for the rest of the presentation. Is that accurate, city members?
What do you say?
That's okay if he drops off. Yeah. You want to drop off? Yeah,
Sure.
that's fine.
Okay, guys. Looking forward to meeting you all in person sometime. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No. I'll just make a note that the material weakness regarding preparation of the financial statements, that is very common. You can almost pick up any school district, airport, municipality. They just don't have the staff to actually prepare these. So that's nothing at all to worry about.
Okay.
And that comment has been in past multiple years.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll rarely find anyone that doesn't have that comment in it, but they have to know that it's just part of the rules.
Okay, ready to move to new business? I move we adopt special ordinance number 2024-1930, authorizing a successor year with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for the administration of the fully insured health plan and qualified high deductible health plan, and for the administration of the fully insured dental plan for employees and retirees of the municipality, and for the administration of a vision care insurance for active employees through payroll deductions. Can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Commissioner Graven, and any question anybody has about this? I think everybody's going to be giving an update.
For the most part, it is a, 19% increase, but it's still cheaper than what Aetna was a year ago. Than what they had proposed to us a year ago. So health insurance is something that continues to go up, and health providers are adding more fees and everything else. So
Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven? Yes. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. I move to adopt special ordinance number 2024-1931, approving the replacement of an annual property and casualty insurance and workers' compensation coverage for a term beginning December 1st, 2024, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents. Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and any comments on that?
This one was much better, only about a 2.6% increase, I think $25,000 difference, roughly $25,000 difference from last year.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Abstain.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. I move to adopt special ordinance number 2024-1932, extending the special use for construction of a solar farm located at 1027 North 33rd Street. Petitioner is Serenity Solar LLC and Marilyn Degler McLean. Can I have a second to this motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and comments on this?
This one's gone through planning commission, started back in 2018. Every 2 years, they've kind of come back and renewed this, waiting on permits from Ameren and the state of Illinois. So it is west of 43rd, kind of out there where there's a cellular tower. Yeah,
Kyle, is this extending the special use permit?
yes, extending the special use permit.
Construction? Okay.
Yeah.
So they haven't,
So they never started construction. No, they have 2 years to start construction. Otherwise, the special use goes away. So they've extended the special use.
is there
This is the
any
third time now.
anticipated, are they gonna,
I think they're actually getting closer with the state now, of getting things accomplished. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, hi. My name is Ryan Anderson, I'm Second Street Renewables, it's for solar. For this project, as far as meeting comments for the next steps, we're actually waiting on a piece of equipment from Ameren, which is directly tied to their substation. So that's really the only thing stopping us. We can't get ready until they're ready. So we do a monthly calls with them where we confirm the speed time. It's like a 2-year lead time for this part. And it's so critical that it's kind of like we can't control.
So are they still saying it's 2 years out from now?
I think delivery time is 2026, last time I checked. It's just something we're kind of out of control, but my understanding that's the last thing we're waiting on. It's, it's frustrating. It's adding years at a time, but that's where we are.
I would add that it was approved unanimously
Sure.
through the planning and zoning commission.
Sure.
And there were no objectors.
Kyle, did I hear you say this is west of 43rd or 33rd?
33rd.
Okay. Any other questions anybody has? Roll call. Oh,
Doesn't this happen with almost every solar that they can't get it done in 2 years? So they have to
Yeah, there's been separate.
almost automatically happens.
We'll have more extending their special uses. Yeah.
Hopefully on this one, I'll just request.
yeah. All right. Ready for roll call? All right, go ahead.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
I just have a question before I read this next one. You know me, I get on the county website to make sure the addresses and the owners and so forth. There is no, according to the county website, there is no 1420. This is actually labeled as 1422. I just want to make sure that we get the address right for the record. So should it be 1422?
Application says 1420, but I,
So they've divided that building on the county. It's a combined parcel, but it actually is 2 separate buildings.
Okay,
2 different addresses. Yeah.
I just wanted clarification. Want to make sure we had it right. Okay. Make a motion to adopt special ordinance 2024-1933, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Washington Savings Bank trustee Land Trust 5136, reimbursing up to $40,000 from Midtown TIF revenues over a 1-year period for roof replacement to the building located at 1420 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement. Parcel number 07-1-03837-000, Jasper Holding Company.
And can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, and anything on this one, any comments?
That's another reason we put the parcel numbers on them too.
Yeah,
'Cause
and that's-
there is multiple addresses.
Watch that too. Because
Yeah.
I knew there had to be something in there, but I just want to make sure that, we get the verbiage right so that there are no issues.
Okay, any questions on this?
Just a basic.
Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
I make a motion to adopt Special Ordinance 2024-1934, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Jonathan P. and Nadia Adele Yost, reimbursing up to $6,509.50 from Midtown TIF revenue over a one-year period for emergency sewer repairs to the building located at 1608 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement, parcel number 07-1-03800-000.
And a second to that motion.
Second.
I think you got that. Commissioner Cox, and any comments on that one?
Yeah, really just basic sewer replacement. I mean, you can't really run a hair salon if you're having some sewer issues there. So they're just really seeking as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We originally came out with a pretty high quote, they could go to the second quote, I think it's like half the price. So we did due diligence on the TIP committee. Yeah, I'm just really excited to hopefully get it solved for them.
Are they able to, is she operating now?
Yes and no. But really the main issue right now is just it's completely backed up. Also kind of over issues in there. So
Did you? Okay. Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
Need to abstain?
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve council decision request 2024-2546, approving a $2,975 grant by the Tourism Advisory Committee from FY 24-25 hotel motel tax funds to the Lakeland College in support of the Laker Classic on November 9th and 10th, 2024, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Phipps? Any?
Lakeland College hasn't been on the classic in a while, and this is the invention of doing events and when it's together. So, hopefully it's the end of it, same time we do.
Very good. All right. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve council decision request 2024-2547, approving the water and sewer billing adjustments in the amount of $7,628.20 on behalf of the Mattoon Board of Education located at 2521 Walnut Avenue.
And can we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and any comments on that one?
Just they had a bad water leak.
They had for month of August, they had a $9,200 water bill. In the month of September, $8,400. Here, the pipe is coming from
My understanding it was underground and difficult to find where the leak was and didn't, being a dryer, it was hard to find out where the leak was.
You should have seen all that green grass.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve council decision request 2024-2548, approving the purchase of a 2027 AEV Tomahawk Type 3 custom ambulance, Chevrolet G4500, LWB 4x2 gas chassis for $268,822 from ARB dealer and allocating $281,746.11 from ARPA funds to pay for the ambulance in 2023 and to be received in 2025.
Okay, a second on that.
Oh, I'll second, sorry.
Sandy, would you look at the,
Mr. Graven.
Commissioner Graven, would you look at the invoice on that? Are those numbers flipped? I was thinking the cost of the ambulance was 281,746, and the allocating
268,282
is the ambulance.
is the ambulance that you're buying.
Okay,
And 268 on our
268,822.
so the older ambulance was more expensive. Okay, I was thinking they were backwards, but that's correct.
I was trying to get you the 4x4. Turn me down.
That'll be the next,
Okay.
there's a method to the back.
Oh, yeah, he explained it to me, but I thought, oh, for $40,000 more, why not get a 4x4?
So Jeff, we have 2 basic ambulances, new ambulances that are back ordered. Is that right?
So
And both of them in 2025 we'll get.
the one that was approved in 2023, then they were 2-year build times. So we will be getting that one in
2025.
next spring, 25. It is now a 3-year build time so it'll be 2027 when we receive the one that we order tomorrow.
And what's encouraging to me is halfway through the fiscal year, revenues brought in by ambulance are 665,000, and your expenses for the same period are 630 or 620,000, I'm sorry. And if those numbers hold after paying all the expenses 100% plus your revenue, the fire department will show a profit in the fiscal year of $70,000 through ambulance. So you're collecting, well, what?
Yes and no, because only a portion of those expenses are all the fire department. So we've got 2 separate entities.
Right.
Now, if you will, on that
This is ambulance only.
ambulance on.
Right, right.
These include the GEMT payments that Jeff orchestrated. Some of that we have to go back to the state.
Yeah,
They bill the crowds. They bill us for their share. Yeah, so the GEMT program is the Medicaid program,
Right.
where I explained a few meetings ago that we have to give half of that money to the state. I put all our numbers together from the ambulance side, personnel, depreciation, all that. They come up with, they have a formula that calculates what we should be getting for a Medicaid transfer. We get all of that. The state doesn't receive anything anymore until the end of the year. We have to pay half of what we have brought in to the state.
Do we have any idea what that might be?
It was 200 and some thousand that we had to pay back.
So I just want to make sure that the GTM Medicaid reimbursement, there'll be a portion going back to the state, correct? And that is not factored into the expenses that you.
not yet.
Okay.
I'll do that. The end of the year.
Okay.
So it depends on the tax base.
Gotcha. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready for roll call.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
A motion to adopt ordinance number 2024-5483, amending the Mattoon Code of Ordinances, Chapter 74, Section 2, stop signs, B, and Schedule 3, yield signs to update the traffic schedules with the addition of a 4-way stop sign at Remington Road and Swords Drive, and yield signs at the roundabout on Swords Drive.
And can we get a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Lawson, and let's see here. Do we have any comments on that? Anything?
I should have read this. We went to
Yeah.
expand them so that in the ordinance, it addresses four-way stops, two-way stops, one-way stops, and yield intersections. So the four-way stop is actually Remington Road.
Right.
There'd be a two-way stop at Remington and Swords. If Swords, the food, they can never stop. Right now, that it's stopped halfway now, so that change. There'll be a one-way stop at Liddell and Detro, which is a T intersection at this point in time. And the roundabout that's in front of the indoor sports complex there will have yield signs for its 300s. So those are things that have changed.
So do we need to change this, the wording?
We should.
Probably should.
So let's see.
Just repeat what he says.
Can you?
I'll amend,
Next agenda if you like to.
I'll amend the motion.
It's just.
You want to delay it?
I can amend it to what he just said.
Okay. And what was that, Dad?
Well, who's the recorder? Can you play that back?
A four-way stop at Remington Road and a two-way stop and
Fort
Fort
Worth.
Worth.
Everybody is Swords and Remington.
Remington and Swords, two-way, one-way at Woodell and Detro, roundabout,
Yield signs.
have yield signs.
Got it.
Very good.
So who determines how these are done? Is this something that IDOT would have done or that we just did because?
Well, the plans, that's the way it was set up for Fort Worth and Remington. There's a
Okay.
four-way stop there. Basically, Fort Worth's dead ends down the very south end,
Yeah.
so it's a good place to have a four-way. We kind of determined internally the Remington Swords just because looking at what the traffic would be. Right now, it's yield on Swords and there's nothing on Remington at all. So Remington will go to stop both directions and Swords are going to have no through traffic. That's all right now.
Right, yeah. I just didn't know if that was a study done or how those were determined.
It follows the NTCD manual.
Gotcha.
for that, so,
Perfect. Thank you.
And that could very well change once it's all up and running
Yeah,
and the traffic pattern is identified. But, yep.
right now we still have Swords closed, we have Liddell closed. It's open for construction traffic, but we're going to keep daily citizen traffic off of there. There's a lot of things still going on.
Okay, to get this amendment in here, how do we want to do this? Do we have to?
So Dave made.
I just amended the motion.
So we need a second for the
That
amended.
amendment. Okay, need a second on the amendment.
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and then we have to vote on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll take roll call for that.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Graven?
Yes.
Mr. Phipps?
Yes.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. And now
On
we
the
move on the
original motion as amended.
as amended. Okay. So do we need a second on that one again?
No, you
No.
had a first and
Yeah.
second.
And then we'll just be roll call then.
Mr. Graven?
Yes.
Mr. Phipps?
Yes.
Mr. Clausen?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. Okay, department report, city administrator tells me.
I've been working on some software with Public Works and code enforcement. We're reviewing some software that we're hoping to maybe be able to purchase that will help both departments work more efficiently, help organize some stuff. Alex and the mayor and I met with a retail consultant and took a tour of Mattoon yesterday with him. We are looking at this firm to possibly help with some economic development. And we'll be checking some references, and I think Alex has reached out to the council, or will be reaching out to the council on some information with this company.
Is there a comparison company?
There is some comparison companies we've looked at. We've used one in the past that we were not happy with. That I don't think they do as much for cities anymore. They've kind of went away from helping cities, the one we used in the past. So, I mean, we'll see if there's a couple more out there, but these are the the main ones that I think what we're looking for, this type of work.
So they kind of do similar stuff, but put all the work for the municipality to do the recruitment. We're trying to get it's very high, but these guys really take that data and use those industry. So it is the way to use it.
Working on job advertisements, working on a treatment plant advertisement, a new position that we had talked about in the past. Wastewater plant, we had retirement, so we're getting that together today. We've been working on that some today and we'll be finishing it tomorrow. Have a couple in public works with some retirements coming up in public works as well. So we've got at least 2 to 4 that we're looking at there. And then of course the assistant public works director left, and Dave and I have been talking about that, looking at what we want to move forward with on that position. So definitely a lot of things going on. Wrapping up the last easement with Dan for the sewer through HAM's property, or Rooking's property, south of Walmart. And then I will get you an updated ARPA amount tomorrow, since this passed tonight on the ambulance, so that we can talk about that in the next couple meetings as well. A couple other projects that we'd like to try to get allocated for. That's all I have unless you have questions.
Any questions?
You say November 15th for meetings?
November 15th, I've set up meetings, yes.
Those are set.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Next is City Attorney Dan Jones.
Pretty much business as usual for me, working with Kyle on some projects. We have a Quackenbush review hearing on Thursday. I'll report back to the council. Alex was kind enough to give me some photos today of the place and progress there or lack thereof. And that's it for me. I'm happy to answer questions.
Anybody have any questions?
What's the hearing for?
Brown check that.
No. Perry.
Still have not got a date yet,
Okay.
so I will push the state on that. Got it.
Good luck with that.
Well, here we sit years later.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is City Clerk Susan O'Brien.
Been very busy, but business as usual. And there's an upcoming council petition filing period from November 12th through the 18th. That's all I have.
Any questions? Finance, Beth Wright.
Well, I'm happy to have the audit finalized. The pilot fixes words. Consolidated hearing for the insurance board, the Grant Accountability Transparency Act. Revenue tracking, I passed out to residents that this meeting were down 118. They were, in that last meeting, we were down 118 and 140. Under this meeting things. So, little change. Perhaps infrastructure. Rooms to be carried to the minimum fund. Today's 10,676,000. Last meeting was 11,152. 2 meetings ago was 2,622. So we bounced. Unless there are questions, I think.
No questions. Then we go with Public Works, Dave Clark.
Broadway project is basically 99.9% done. Kind of finished some punch list things there and that will be complete. Sports complex there, we're about 98% done. The lights aren't on yet and they're making those connections this week. The hope is that's done. On how much rain in the last day or so has slowed them down, but they hope to have the lights up and running yet this week. As far as the sanitary sewer contract, that's been kind of slow this week also. They do plan to be back tomorrow. Start working on that again. They are about halfway from the plant to Oddfellow Road. So they've made some fairly good progress late last week. And then I guess the other big thing this week, Kyle and I are gonna meet with IDOT District 7. About some projects out there at Swords and Detro, and only 60 association with the sports complex. We got a grant from Representative Rose, and so trying to figure out how we can, some different things and which projects we can do.
Okay. Any questions? Very good. Next is Fire Chief Jeff Hilgos.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for this purchase. Greatly appreciated. Since the last meeting, there's answered 189 calls for service. With 3 of those, we have 3 structure fires in the last 3 weeks. The most significant was a garage that set on, the address was actually 649. It's the garage that faces 9th Street. Gentleman that has Cowboys and Cubs painted on it. Karma, if you ask me. That was the most significant. Inspectors, they've been busy out there at the sports complex, 18 inspections. They've done some walkthroughs, 5 community events, training, has been hazmat, their ARF, drives and carries. Jake Matthews and Josh, I was informed that it's bus hard. I've been calling him by the wrong name since we brought him on part-time. They graduated Fire Academy on the 17th. And then they both got baptized on the 28th for one of the structure fires. They did good. I was impressed. We had, Josh has passed his EMT exam. So next council meeting, I'll be bringing you for him to go from part-time to full-time. Next council meeting. And then the 26th, we had our entry-level exam. 5 applicants, all 5 passed, and just had their final interviews. I need to hire 2 of them, but by the time we get through everything, all the steps that need to be done, it'll probably be June. I can probably squeak them in at the end of December, but then that becomes a nightmare due to vacations, that it'll just be easier to hire in January. So I've got to report unless anybody has any questions.
No questions? All right, next is Chief Gaines, Police Department.
The last 2 weeks, we've had 830 calls to service, 35 arrests. Again, that's the last 2 weeks. I do this every time we've gone through weeks. I forget to get you those numbers, but that's, 2 weeks there. Other than that, I don't have any to report. Going fairly slow time either, so happy for that.
Okay. Arts and Tourism, Angela Burgett.
Working on Lightworks. We have the walkthrough. It's next Thursday. And so it starts on Wednesday, 15th, and we have finishing up advertising commitments to that. We are in the process of booking entertainment for Bagel Fest at the same time. And we do have a photo show at Holiday Arts and Sales and Arts Competition. And I'm working with tomorrow for downtown businesses. They'll be painted over the tanks for Thanksgiving.
Perfect. Any questions for Angelia? Community Development, Alex.
Yeah, so recently we received a couple of grants, which is pretty exciting. $50,000 for the fitness campaign for fitness court. We're still looking to basically confirming with the other national funders that that's been paid in full. On top of that, it's about $200,000 in average for fitness court. Similar to what the YMCA did, but it's going to be out by Lakers potentially. So really neat opportunity out there. One of the other grants we got, I got to give a huge shout out to Jen Tarek from Douglas Nature Center. In the past, we applied for the Chicago Region Trees Initiative grant program, were denied. And so Jen called me one day and said, hey, I see your old application. Would you guys be interested in doing a joint application? So we did that. And we just found out yesterday we received about 500,000. And all this is going to be done. And so, she did a fantastic job. We're going to see about 146,000 of that to conduct a urban forestry management plan. So figure out where all the bad trees in town are, using GIS and a couple of planting activities out by Emerald Acres and throughout town in areas that might request them. Outside of that, drone shows ago with Celebrate Downtown Mattoon. Thank you again for helping out with that. We're officially going to be flying that over the Young's Radiator area, and so people will be able to see that directly from Broadway Avenue on the 6th of December. We're going to Swords Drive grant meeting tomorrow about that. We've got about 5 more demolitions on the way, and working on some tip and enterprise zone updates with Kyle and Ronda. And finally, we have just submitted today a basic review liquor license classification to assist with entertainment and tourism venues, similar to the sports complex.
Alex, any update on the pump track? Is it still progressing?
Yeah, so actually, we just had a meeting with Jamie Pilson and Tom Wright the other day, and basically, we received a variety of 4 or 5 different proposals for a scope of work for that from folks, and we kind of narrowed it down to 3 companies. One of them was significantly more affordable design, but the one that really knocked it out of the park with their presentation was the most expensive. So we've kind of given them an opportunity by sending them the least expensive proposal and saying, why is yours working? And so we're waiting on that response.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Alex?
Alex, when you said you submitted the liquor update, what do you mean?
We have sent it into
The state?
the office, and then it'll be a next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see now, comments by council, starting with Commissioner Phipps.
Oh, gosh. Man, we're, Public Works is running on fumes right now. It seems like we're down 2 or 3 staff. We were down the assistant. Our road guy, temporary guy out at the sports complex has met his 1,000 hours, so we're short there. But they're all stepping up, doing a great job. I certainly appreciate them. And if you guys haven't had a chance to tour out there and ride along with Dave and see the roads, see some of the complex going on, and even go inside, I'd highly encourage that. A lot of good things in here. The flock cameras doing their job, great work. And I'll still offer up the Mattoon Council Quartet for the Bagel Fest. I'm not one of those. That'd be these 4.
Thank goodness.
And last, I appreciate all the staff, but especially Beth. I want to give you a shout out for all you do and your integrity here at the city. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Any questions? Okay, Commissioner Craven.
Yes, I do, believe it or not. I know it's kind of a moot point at this point because the elections are over, but the postcard that went out to the citizens over the weekend, to me, was a scare tactic and a bullying technique. To make inference about me is one thing. Being an elected official, it's common practice. But when you cast a shadow on the city treasurer, who has an utmost integrity, and the finance staff, as well as all of the city employees, it's despicable. I was surprised to learn that Steve Winty, partner of Doreen & Winders, was part of this group, as his firm has been the city auditors for the last 10 years. I've lost all respect for this group of the pillars of the community, and that they have to sink so low, cast doubt about the honesty and the integrity of the city staff.
Any questions? Like I have comments? Okay, next is Commissioner Cox.
Nothing this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, then last but not least, Commissioner Clausen.
Thank you, Mayor. I think we're all in agreement. We're ready for tomorrow to get here. Sooner the better. A couple things on Lightworks, just follow up with Angelia. TJ and his other 2 full-time employees plus 9 part-time guys that work a little bit in Parks and Dodge Grove are wrapping up. 122 displays will be in place at Peterson for the walkthrough. And then they're going to go to Heritage Park, decorate that downtown, and then also decorate the downtown poles. So downtown's going to be a good look at. You can be very proud of that. Playground equipment, I met today with John Wurtzball and the playground rep for the new playground equipment from the OSLAT grant. It's going in the 2 campgrounds in the beach area. That will probably be installed, weather permitting, within the next 5 to 6 weeks. And then we're going to get rid of some obsolete playground equipment. So it's going to be new equipment, which is nice. Plus we're taking out some equipment that is really not recommended for children. And last but not least, hopefully Thursday, Friday, we're going to start one last mowing around Lake Paradise. So things look good in public properties.
Very good. Who does that mowing around Lake Paradise now? Do we?
HA and I think there's one other employee.
No volunteers doing any of that work now.
No. Nope.
We have an 11-foot Santa for Heritage Park. Additional more trees to add on to what we already had there. So it was good last year. I thought you really good last year, but this is going to be an upgrade. So
Good.
very good.
So will the walkthrough encompass both or?
So the Heritage Park idea was built up that we have having a walkthrough location all year, all season.
Yeah.
So everything will be lit up.
Okay.
Last is a couple comments from me is that phase 2 of the sports complex, Emerald Acres, is coming along. I think you're all going to be attending some meetings soon and getting some information on that. A lot of planning around that. It looks like the retail, hotels, the support, the revenue support, to move ahead and issue bonds first quarter next year or somewhere around that time is looking very positive. I know a lot of you probably been out there in some of the new stores. I think by the end of the week, there'll be 5 stores open plus Chick-fil-A. I think we have 4 now. But yeah, that's all moving along very well. Any question anybody has? All right, last item on the agenda.
Make motion to adjourn.
Okay, can we get a second?
A second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps? No problem.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
No.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Now I look back.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.